Jay Baruchel arrives in Los Angeles to visit old friend and fellow Canadian actor Seth Rogen, who invites him to a housewarming party hosted by James Franco. There, Jay is uncomfortable at the crowded party, so Seth takes him to a convenience store for cigarettes. When beams of blue light suddenly come down and suck numerous people into the sky, Seth and Jay flee back to James's house and find the party unharmed. An earthquake strikes and the crowd rushes outside, witnessing a sinkhole opening up in James's yard. Several celebrities and partygoers are killed as Seth, Jay, James, Jonah Hill and Craig Robinson run back inside and discover on the news that the earthquake has destroyed most of Los Angeles. The remaining partygoers take inventory of their supplies, set up a ration system, board up the house and await help. Danny McBride, who crashed the party and fell asleep, wakes up first the next morning and wastes much of the group's food and water due to his ignorance of the crisis. He disbelieves what the others tell him of the previous night's events until a man outside gets decapitated by an unseen creature. Tensions rise due to various conflicts, including Jay and Seth's growing estrangement and the others' skepticism of Jay's belief that the disaster might be the apocalypse predicted in the Book of Revelation. Emma Watson makes her way back to James's house, only to flee with the group's remaining drinks after misinterpreting an overheard conversation, believing they intend to rape her. Craig tries to obtain water from James's cellar, only to find the doors locked. Outside he encounters an unknown being, causing him to believe Jay's theory. Jay and Seth dig through the floor and find the water, but Danny wastes most of it out of spite and the others kick him out of the house. Before leaving, Danny reveals that Jay was in town 2 months prior, but stayed at a hotel instead of with Seth due to their strained friendship. That night, Jonah prays for Jay to die and is possessed by a demon. While Craig and Jay head to a neighbor's house to scavenge for supplies, Seth and James get attacked by the possessed Jonah. Jay and Craig return and help subdue Jonah, tying him to a bed. During an exorcism attempt, Jay and Seth fight and knock over a candle, starting a fire that engulfs Jonah in the house and forces the others outside. James suggests driving to his home in Malibu, but finds his car guarded by a demon. Craig voluntarily sacrifices himself to help the others get into the car and is raptured into heaven. The others realize they can save themselves by performing a selfless act. On the way to Malibu, the three encounter cannibals led by Danny and his sex slave, Channing Tatum. James volunteers to sacrifice himself and a blue beam that begins to pull him to heaven appears. However, James taunts and insults Danny, causing the beam to vanish and for Danny and the other cannibals to eat him alive while Seth and Jay escape and encounter Satan, who attempts to eat them. After Jay apologizes to Seth for his wrongdoings, a blue beam strikes and causes him to ascend to heaven without Seth. Jay grabs Seth's hand as he heads up, but his presence prevents them from ascending into heaven. Seth forces Jay to leave him behind, after which another beam appears around Seth and inadvertently castrates Satan. In heaven, Seth and Jay are reunited with Craig, who tells them that any wish comes true there.